In order to not damage the corn dog when slurping it, we need to use our tongue. So when drawing a mouth slurping a corn dog, remember to put special attention on the shape of the lips and how the tongue is positioned. The lips need to be touching the corn dog in a delicate way, almost as if they were caressing it. By the way, I apologize. I know I have a rough accent, and this drawing we wanted to be everything but not rough. Remember that the lips are soft as well as the tongue, so they both will adjust to the shape of the object they both are slurping. And depending of the angle, do not forget to draw the frenulum. If your mouth is showing teeth, remember to draw the tongue over the teeth to protect the corn dog. And that's it. Very fun, very easy, and I hope y'all enjoy it. This is how you draw a hairy papaya. Believe it or not, some people like it hairy, so here we go. Let's start by sketching the most popular papaya's hair shapes. There may be other styles, but what I'm gonna show you applies to all the styles. Remember that the hair will almost always grow pointing downwards. So when drawing hairs, they will always be pointing down. Do quick short lines for short trim hair. For longer hair, it's going to be a little bit messier. And pretty often long papaya hair will be quite curly. But remember, it doesn't matter how messy it is, it never gets inside the seeds. When trimmed in other shapes, papaya's hair will be always quite short. But quite often, even if trimmed, the hair will expand and surround where the seeds are. Even for trimmer shapes, papaya's hair will be quite messy, because although it always grows down, it tends to change sides. The most popular shape is the line shape. That one is the easier, just trim short hair and that's it, pretty easy. There are many ways to stroke a water gun, and here I am gonna show you the three main ones. Remember that hands can only be difficult if you overcomplicate them. My secret to draw hands, it's actually the opposite because I oversimplify them into geometrical figures. If only things were this easy to simplify in my real life. But hey, they are not, so I just have to suck it up. As you can see, the way I choose to sketch the fingers changes depending on the position of the hands. Sometimes I draw a geometrical figure and divide it between the amount of fingers that geometrical figure is supposed to represent. And other times I just draw a very simple line for each of the fingers. As you can see, it is very easy to draw the line art over the hand sketch if you use geometrical figures to simplify that sketch. Start by drawing the face guidelines. Remember that eyes and mouth will be twisted because of the pain of falling over a stick. Don't forget to draw the little wrinkles between the eyes and the nose to show even more pain in your expression. I like to simplify the hand using geometrical figures. For the palm, I like to use a square and the fingers are a combination of rectangles and ovals. And remember that when holding frail animals, the hand cannot stroke them too harshly. Place the marbles in the direction that the mouth is playing with them. Depending if the mouth is sucking or licking, the bag of marbles will move or change its shape. And that's it, very easy. Start by drawing the leg opening. Because the pants are unbuttoned, remember to draw them loosely. Take into consideration the thickness of the clothes and the leg shape when drawing the clothes wrinkles. Don't forget to draw the belt loop and the belt as well. Draw a big triangle or the letter Y and a small triangle at the side. Remember that the folds that are in the crotch part of the trouser have a stairs type of shape. Don't forget to draw the zipper pointing to the lower side of the trousers. Start by drawing the letter C. By simplifying it this way, it will make it really easy to draw the stock person inside the washing machine, specifically their legs and their half torso. Start by drawing the guidelines for the mouth and the tongue, and follow up with line art. Remember that the tip of the tongue will be inside the table's hole. And don't forget to draw the tongue's frenulum. I like to start by drawing two pairs of guidelines with a circle in the middle for the legs. The circle in the middle will represent the knee. Lastly, draw guidelines for the arms showing where the arms are going to be located. Draw a circle over the neck, then draw a triangle. Then you are gonna divide the circle in 3 parts. Also draw a smaller triangle looking up for the nose. Then continue with a clean sketch or the line art. Start by drawing the head as a reference point. When drawing in this angle, I like to use circular shapes for the chest and the shoulders. And for the rest of the torso, I like to use rectangular shapes. Follow up with the line art and that's it. Start by drawing the shape of the hot dog and overdraw the cloth wrinkles that will follow the shape of the hot dog. Remember that because the trousers are tight, the cloth wrinkles are going to look as if they're dragging the hot dog. Start by imagining the shape of the inner throat. Also remember to draw lines that show how the throat expands as it drinks water. Don't forget to draw the shadows for the volume contrast, and that's it. Start by drawing the mouth as a reference point. Because we're using perspective, you just need to draw an oval to reflect the shoulders. Remember that the shape of the popsicle will affect the shape of the lips and the cheeks. And that's it. Draw a falling line pointing to the mouth. And remember that when liquids fall, they tend to fall in curved shapes. Milk is a little bit sticky, so remember to correctly reflect the stickiness of the milk. Start by drawing 2 curves that will represent the lips. Then draw the guidelines for the jaw and the cheek. To represent excitement out of the deliciousness of the neck, make the vampire's tongue move. Start by drawing the line for the parting hair. Then draw the guidelines for the falling hair. These guidelines will help you know how to divide the hair between the parting hairline. And that's it. Draw the jaw a little bit longer than what you usually do. When drawing the mouth, draw something similar to a Buffy triangle. Draw the tongue at last. Then follow up with the guidelines of the thumb and remember to mark its shape in the tongue. Start by choosing a deep brown color. Then in the middle of the gluteus, draw a line pointing up using the same brown color. Remember that any stain tends to spread over the fabric. Start by drawing a talking mouth. Then continue with the tongue. Remember that tongues are very flexible and they tend to adapt to the shape of the objects they are licking. Popsicles melt, so don't forget to draw the melting liquid. Start by drawing a rectangle to where the mouth is supposed to be. And draw a curved guideline for the mouth. Clean the sketch guideline. And remember that when mouth holds things, sometimes saliva escapes out of it. And that's it, very easy. Start by drawing the guidelines of the tongue pointing up and down. It's going to end up looking like a heart. Then draw the spit lines. The spit lines will help you to give the illusion of fast movement. Start by simplifying the body to squares and rectangles. For the arms, I use a rhombus and 2 guidelines. And for the chest, I make a small bump in the superior part of the torso, and that's pretty much it. Start with the chin guideline. Following, draw a curved line that touches the chin's guideline. When drawing the teeth, follow the natural curves of the mouth. And for the tongue, draw a soft curved line. Start by drawing the guideline for the neck and the shoulders. Then connect the torso with the hole in the wall using 2 guidelines. And finally, draw the line art, and that's it. Remember to always draw the guidelines. I always start the nose in the same place the forehead ends. When drawing the eyes, I always draw first the difficult eye. Remember that sometimes people cry because they feel bad for killing a bug. Start by drawing rhombular shapes for the shoulders. Following, I like to use rectangular shapes for the torso. Then I like to create divisions between the rectangles to draw the guidelines for the chest and the abs. And that's it. Start by drawing a square and a circle for the back and the head. I also prefer to use circular shapes for the gluteus and the legs. When doing the line art, I recommend you to start first with the legs. That will make it easier to follow up with the back and the head. When drawing feet, remember to simplify them into geometrical figures. Because we are drawing clenched feet, the nails of the toes will be pointing backwards instead of frontwise. Start by drawing 2 circles, then following draw the guidelines for the torso and the legs. Remember that when somebody is crouching down to pick up something from the floor, their gluteus is the part that stands out the most. Start by drawing the shoulder guidelines and then continue with the guidelines of the rest of the body. You can take a screenshot of my reference guidelines if you want. Remember that to draw Gojo hostage, he's always smiling. Okay, bye. Create the division between the cheeks. Over that division, start drawing the underwear's wrinkles. Remember that the direction of the wrinkles should point to the place inside the division. Also keep in mind the undies tightness. Draw a guideline that follows the chest dividing line. Then draw a rectangle where the head and the neck are supposed to be. Then continue with the head guidelines as you normally do and finish with the line art. By drawing the square and the line, it's gonna be way easier. Honestly, nobody has ever said that, but if one day somebody does, I invite you to follow me on Twitter to prove you wrong.